The New York Knicks have a new head coach that shows they had no idea what they were doing in this entire process. And it wasn't even the weirdest move of the last 48 hours. Let's break down what has been absolute chaos in the NBA, featuring a few very prominent pieces and teams. The New York Knicks have a new head coach. The big news of the day is that Mike Brown is on his way to the Mecca. He is going to be the new coach of the New York Knicks. And look, I think Mike Brown is actually an all right coach. I think he's getting maybe a little bit more grief than his coaching abilities would deserve. That being said, this is, in no way, shape, or form, a win for the Knicks. You cannot convince me in any world that this is an upgrade over Tibbs. To make this firing, and very clearly now have no plan for what you are going to do next, is bordering on malpractice. I was willing to give them the benefit of the doubt when we were all laughing at them for, oh, this team said no, and this team said no, and this team said no, and this team said no. I was willing to pass that off as due diligence. But now, when you look at what the end, that's the end result, is Mike Brown. I am pretty genuinely stunned that there wasn't this ace up the sleeve for the New York Knicks, who have been very un-Knicks-like in the last couple of years in building up a team that threatened the conference finals a year ago and actually made it to them last season. I am very, very surprised that it is this bad with the Knicks right now. Just a very, very, very bad move for New York. And I like the offseason so far. I like bringing in Clarkson as an option off of the bench. I just think this is a major miss as you are building up a team to try to get to that championship level. I think you can do that with Tibbs. I don't think you do that with Mike Brown. They're not the only team making a big gamble on a big change. As the Milwaukee Bucks, they went big buck hunting, that's for sure, as they bring in Myles Turner. And look, I like Myles Turner. I just don't like him apparently nearly as much as the Bucks like him. The contract is big. It is on the big end of what I would have paid him. And I can understand those who just flat out don't like the contract. He was hit or miss in the postseason. He had some moments where he looked like he was maybe unstoppable, but he had a lot of moments where he looked like he was the fifth best player on that Pacers team. And I would have concerns about that aspect of things for Milwaukee. So, is it too much contract-wise? I don't know. A lot of them are on free agency day, and when you are trying to push to be competitive, then maybe. But it is not just that they signed Myles Turner. It is how they signed him. And that is by buying out Damian Lillard. And so now, as Windhorst went on his rant, not only is this like Turner's bordering on reasonable contract, but now you have the whole Lillard one on top of it as well. So now this is a $50 million roster spot, and Myles Turner just isn't that guy. And look, like, I get, like, Lillard is hurt, and he is old, and he is small. Old in the basketball sense. None of those things equal what his dollar amount is going to be. But nothing in Myles Turner's game suggests that he is worth just eating $20 million of dead cap space for forever, and also paying Myles Turner a significant amount of money. Like, I don't see this working out at all. This feels desperate. And look, we did a video a while ago. Now, it was on the Edmonton Oilers, and that ends up working out for them. But we did a video a while ago talking about the traps that teams fall into when they have star players. And this feels like it is one. Desperate to appease Giannis, they go out and make a move just to try to be better next year. And we'll worry about the rest later. We're just trying to get better for this year. And I understand, like, wanting to win and wanting to be competitive, but there is a difference between winning moves and just moves that are justified by, well, we just need to win. Okay, well, how does this make it better? I don't know, but Lillard wasn't going to play, and we needed a good player, so it's that. Okay, I guess. Like, I don't hate Turner. I actually like him a lot as a player, but I think this is a lot to ask of him on this particular team. So I I hope the Bucks are right, because I want Giannis to be in relevant basketball games going forward. But to give up all of this for what is not a ton of an upgrade of Turner to Brook Lopez, who signed a remarkably reasonable contract to be backup center with the Clippers, I don't get it. I don't see what they are doing at all. We'll get to the flip side of teams that are doing smart moves, I think, here in just a second. But first, make sure to keep up to date with everything on Couch Potato Diary. Follow me on everywhere. Social media. I am at Primetime Klein on X, Instagram, TikTok, Threads, Blue Sky, all the places. I am at Primetime Klein. So let's talk about teams that kind of know what they're doing now, and that is the Denver Nuggets. Now, we haven't been able to say that about them for a while, but we do now, as they get Jonas Valanciunas in a trade with the Sacramento Kings in exchange for Dario Saric. We have said for 2 years, this team just needs NBA depth. Mission accomplished, I would suggest, in this run. As they go out in the last few days, they add Jonas Valanciunas, Tim Hardaway Jr., Bruce Brown, and Cam Johnson, while giving up Saric and MPJ. That is very, very strong work by this front office to turn MPJ, who, look, he and Cam Johnson are not all that dissimilar, but to be able to turn that into the flexibility to make a few moves, I think is very, very smart for the Nuggets and what they're doing here. I don't necessarily have any idea what the Kings are doing with Saric over Valanciunas, but good work by the Nuggets for taking advantage of it anyway. Another team that I really like what they're doing is the Detroit Pistons. They go out and get Duncan Robinson in a sign and trade. We talked the other day about how Beasley isn't necessarily going to be a factor for this team going forward. To fill that role now with LeVert and Duncan Robinson, that is really, really smart work by this team. Robinson didn't turn into what we thought he might when the Heat went on their run to the NBA Finals in the bubble, but at the cap hit that they're going to have him at, it's still a little high for me, but I still don't mind it. And they have now really solidified quite a bit of depth scoring. And not that Robinson is this great creator of his own shots, but LeVert kind of needs the ball a lot, but is good with it in his hands, so that they can take some of the pressure off of Cade Cunningham as well. I think that the Pistons have had a really good offseason so far, when it could have been a bit of a disaster given the whole Beasley situation. So some really good work from the Pistons as the offseason rolls on.